You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. The beginning is the most important part of the work, and let's start together in the journey to be great. Great at building what most people struggle to build. My name is Mohammed Mansoor, a passionate programmer, programming since 2004, and building enterprise software for more than 10 years now. In this series, I will teach you how to build software in the real world. So let's dive in. I will walk you through all the steps that are required, how the system evolves. Remember, the most important part of this series is to build a software that evolves. And that's how it works in the industry. There are hundreds of videos with fixed requirements. I've seen in my experience that those things will break when the requirements change. Or at least, you don't know how to handle the change, even with the best practices and software principles. Our focus is to build a system that is capable of handling the change, because change is the only constant. Let's build a ticket booking system. What should you expect from this? You should be able to design and develop software in the real world. You should be able to design scalable software in iterative way. That is what Agile methodology is. As a first step, let's understand what is the ask. There should be a tool which will allow users to view the events and buy the ticket of that event. And there are limited number of tickets. Now we have a fair idea of what we will be building. Let's try and identify the requirements. Every software will have functional and non-functional requirements. Functional requirements tell us what our system needs to do. Think of them as must-have features. Let's look at what the business is asking to build. As part of the first MVP, following are the requirements. Users should be able to view available events. Users should be able to search for events. Users should be able to buy a ticket for an event. The business is also telling us that for the first MVP, 100k users in a day access our system, 100k tickets are booked every day. Let's try and create a simple sequence diagram. There is a user and a system. System interacts with the user to achieve the desired goal. The goal here is to book a ticket. These are the sequence of operations that take place while booking a ticket. The user first retrieves available events. The system responds with a list of available events. Now it is possible that the event that the user is looking for is present in the list. But if the event is not present, the user searches the event by its name. That will be the second request. Then user selects the event and the user confirms the booking and he or she gets the ticket. These are the sequence of operations that happens between a user and the system. Let's ask some critical questions to the business. We need to know how many events are created in a month. The business says 50 events a month to begin with. We also ask how many users book tickets, and the business says 100 new users each day. How the user will access our system? The business says via web browser. Now we have got fair idea of what we will be building. We also need to know how the user identifies himself or herself. Is it via email and password combination, or is it via mobile number, or anything else? Let's say business says it will be by email ID and password. Business also tell us that during peak season, 5 times the normal users will be accessing the application. With these questions, our requirements will look something like this. User should be able to access the tool via web browser. User should be able to register and access via email ID and password. User should be able to log in via register email ID. Non-functional requirement means how the system should interact under different scenarios and circumstances. The first non-functional requirement we will be looking at is capacity. What should be the capacity of our system? From the requirements we have seen that two events are created each day. 100 new users access our system. 100k users, 100,000 users in a day access our system. These are regular users. And 100,000 tickets are booked every day. The second NFR is scalability. In our use case, the system should be able to handle 5 times the normal traffic, which means it should be able to handle 5 times the requests, 5 times the bookings, 5 times the number of users. We know that 100k users every day access our system, which means 5 users interact with the system each second. Therefore, the system should be highly available. We will look into availability in the future series. This brings us to the conclusion of the requirements. We have gathered the requirements, both non-functional and functional requirements. Going forward, we will look into how do we design the system before we implement it. Don't miss the next important chapter in this series. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified. Till then, cheers.